going all in for a quarterback. That was, I mean, let's not forget that was the chief thing the Niners did in this draft. Sure, they supercharged their running game. Yes, they added depth to the secondary, and those things were important. But what they did in this draft, what they will be judged for and remembered for, is mortgaging 3 drafts to get Trey Lance. Do you think they went about that the right way?
Yeah, because I think if they had, I really think that if they hadn't jumped up, if that was the guy that they wanted, they wouldn't have got him, because I think he would have been off the board well before they got to 12. Even if they had tried to just trade up to like if you remember earlier on in the process, I wasn't really high on trading up for any of these guys, and I had said maybe if you're going to trade up, you go to 7 in that range, and I still don't think they would have got this guy at 7. I think he would have been off the board before that point. So to get to where they had to, I think it was a good move. Another thing about this was Kyle Shanahan's well known as to be a guy that's very he's very much a control freak in a way, and jumping up to that 3 spot allowed them, the 49ers and Shanahan, to control the process of seeing these guys and control the guy that they were going to get. So another thing to think about with that. What do you think?
That's a good point. It seemed like if they said they liked Trey Lance the whole time. Maybe. Doesn't matter. They got Trey Lance. And right before they traded up, Trey Lance had a pro day, and they couldn't go because they were trying to be sneaky. They felt they had to, be covert. Well, that stinks. And they needed to do a lot of research on him. They did it. They moved up. I think they made the right choice. They may whiff. It's not a foolproof science, but I think their process was A+. I think their choice is the one I would have made. And I think that this was a hell of a draft. And this is the most important decision they made. And I think they made it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Your guy asked his question again now.
All right. Okay. I'm going to answer it. Oh, but there was another one before it. I'm going to answer his first, and then I'll answer yours, and then I'll get back to his. You missed my first super chat. You think Troy Warner will get drafted or UDFA? Oh, he didn't get drafted. I don't know. I'm not watching anymore. What do you think about Troy Warner?
I don't know a whole lot about him, so I didn't really watch much BYU defense. But the fact that he's Fred Warner's brother is, I think, probably why everybody's so interested in him. The 49ers definitely didn't draft him, but possibly, as an undrafted free agent, that'd be awesome if he didn't get drafted to bring him in.
Yeah, I hope he's an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, just from a brother standpoint, that'd be kind of cool.
Every year, there's a few undrafted free agents that come to the team that you're like, as a journalist, you're like, man, I got to write 2 profiles on you, don't I? There was a few years ago, it was Jerry Rice's son, Jerry Rice Jr. got a tryout at it's like, you're not even gonna. Okay, and everyone interviewed him, man. He almost felt embarrassed, like, man, I'm gonna be a real estate agent in 3 weeks. Like, come on, I'm sorry. Nice kid though, really nice kid. Brock said Niners fans may not like the comparison. Sermon having young Gore tendencies a bit shifty, but enough power to always fall forward. Thoughts? I totally see what he means. I was watching his highlights today, and when he strings cuts together, the way I describe Gore is it looks like he's skiing. It's very fluid. He doesn't have to stop and gather. It's just boom, like a downhill slalom. And Sermon kind of has that movement too. Also, about 15 pounds strong dudes fall forward. Yeah, I think there's something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a comp that I saw last night. It makes sense, especially when you watch him run through when he's being hit. His contact stability. Contact stability,
yeah, absolutely. Nick Navarro says, "Did you guys catch how Lynch goes all in on round 5 because Kittle and some other picks?" Is that what he said? I mean, they do okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that's their round 5 and their undrafted free agents, right? That's their sweet spot.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, good spot. Good strategy. Chris says, what do you gentlemen think a realistic timetable for Lance to take the starting job? Realistic.
Week 5.
Yeah.
Really?
I think week 5.
I think it'll be by midseason at the latest, but probably around week 5. I think that's when he'll be there.
I agree. One more. Camelot's Red and Gold said, we paid a heavy premium, maybe more than we should have for Trey. If he becomes a perennial Pro Bowler, All-Pro, maybe league MVP, top 5 quarterback, won't matter. Yep. And if he doesn't, it will. Because the pressure is that Kyle Pitts was 1 pick after. And he'll always be compared to him the way that, Jamarcus Russell is compared to Calvin Johnson. Now, Jamarcus Russell Didn't really matter who was taken after him. He embarrassed himself. I don't expect Trey Lance to embarrass himself. I don't. Seems like the most mature player that the Niners have taken in a while. I don't think he has those kind of questions. It's just, can he bring it? I think he can. People say he's inexperienced. If he's a natural, it really won't matter. Jack.
Yeah, I go back. I really want to see him start week 1. I want to see him beat Jimmy out. I want to see him play the whole year. I think if he does, with the way that this offense is, he'd have a shot at winning the Rookie of the Year. I really do.
And again, the way they've set up the offense, it seems like, why not? If they're going to be a run-first team and they have 11 running backs plus Deebo Samuel, who gets 3-4 carries a game, then why? I mean, they're going to throw like 15 times a game anyway. Trey Lance could add to their running game, and those play-action bootlegs would be devastating. I mean, how many third downs does he have to convert? And if he doesn't have it as a passer yet, he can scramble. I mean, really, I think he should be starting. Yes, he's terrible, and I don't expect that.
Yeah, and I tweeted out something a couple weeks ago where the way that the 49ers were spending in free agency to bring back their core on their defense, all kind of lean to the fact that they're going to be playing a rookie quarterback this year because they wanted to have that back, that, and then you throw in the fact that they built the running game behind it. All this stuff points to Lance being the starter.
Absolutely. Dweep says depth is still an issue at wide receiver given Deebo's injury record. Sherfield, Benjamin, Sanu, James looking likely to make up roster. I think there's a lot of depth at wide receiver. I don't know if you like it, but Craycraft, Benjamin, Sanu, James, Hurd. Actually, what they have is depth. I don't know if you like it, though, if it's starting caliber.
I like Richie. I like Richie. Yeah, I really like Richie James. I think Richie James is the guy who, the more they throw it, he's the opposite of a lot of these guys, right? He's one of those guys that everybody wants to see him play more, and when he does play more, he actually performs. Whereas a lot of times people are like, I want to see this guy play more, and then he gets out there and he doesn't play very well. James is the opposite of that. When they give him the ball, he continually makes plays.
Yeah, he was fantastic last year. In that one game against Green Bay, he was the best player in the field for the Niners. Matt says chances on a running back moving to the slot.
I don't. None of these guys that they drafted are guys that would fill that kind of a role. These guys are all bigger guys, all running backs. They don't have a. I understand what he's saying there. They don't have that kind of player. That would have been like if they drafted Amari Rodgers,
right? Or like that kind of player. Yeah, agree.
Or the guy
Carter,
or the kid from UCLA.
Yeah, it's Felton. Yes. Sebastian says hopefully there's a preseason so we can get more rep. Yep. Hopefully, it seemed like they're going to be a preseason, right?
It seems like everything pointing to the fact that there's going to be, camps and preseason and everything.
It's just that there may not be OTAs and mini camps. Because mini camp maybe, but OTAs is voluntary, and the Players Association right now is recommending that players don't go. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything though with the 49ers where the 49ers players have come out and said that they're not going to do that. Maybe I missed something, but I haven't seen that.
They may have. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's our show, but then Akumazu's Fusion. Man, I can't read. I just learned that I can't read. No, I learned it a few weeks ago on this channel. That cornerback from Michigan is a switchable player. You think SF will utilize him like Jim Harbaugh did, similar to Peppers? Dang.
Yeah, I get what he's saying here, and I didn't mention it earlier, but in my research for the piece that I'm writing up right now, this is a guy who, again, he played inside and outside as a corner. In 2018, they actually used him on offense. He actually caught 2 balls and ran the ball once for 11 yards. So he could be that kind of a guy that plays a little bit both ways, and he shows athleticism to do it.
Yeah. If so, that's good because, again, they didn't really draft these corners in prime starting position. So when you're taking a guy after pick 100, like a little bit of versatility because there's no guarantee he's ever going to be a starter. Not to be a downer, sorry. Newt Lab, TTT. Who needs a starter when you got Jason Verrett and Emmanuel Mosley? I like those two anyway. Newt Lab, TTV says, what about Jerick McKinnon to the Chiefs? Also, did my research on our new running backs. Love the selection. It's going to be tough to make the roster. Why did the Chiefs sign Jerick McKinnon? Did they not see him last year? They should have asked us.
He's a jet. I mean, they can use him as a quarterback, run the read option with him.
This reminds me of the Niners trading for Dee Ford. It's like, you really thought the Chiefs were like joking about Dee Ford? You think there wasn't a reason they didn't want Dee Ford? It's like you thought the Niners just gave up on Jerick McKinnon after giving him $30 million. They were like, you know what? We've seen enough. Like, we've sunk enough money into this. We'll just let him go. Like, he's done. Like donezo. I don't know what they thought. Maybe they were looking at some 2016 tape.
maybe. Yeah,
I don't know.
doesn't make sense.
Good question though. I'm gonna let Jack go. I think that's a good show. We did about an hour. Practice squad comes out soon. The weekend is over. I'm tired, man. The draft I always look forward to it, but then covering it is like, they made another pick. I don't know who it is. Let me try to say something about it.
Yeah, it just comes at you fast. You got to be on your toes.
But again, thank you, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, for trading out of the 7th round, turning 6-day 3 picks into 4. From the bottom of my heart, that was great. And thank you for taking all of my suggestions. I'm really flattered, and I didn't do that much homework this year, but it's just I'm natural at it. All I have to do is think about it for 2 seconds. Boom, you take my suggestion. Jack, he co-signs the things that I basically steal Jack's ideas. That's how I do it, is I steal Jack's ideas. It worked out all the best for the Niners this year. The best draft since 1986, courtesy of their quality control department, and all of you that call in. Thank you very much.